The better that I eat, the less makeup that I want to wear. And I know how that sounds, but ladies, I don't care. Seriously, when you eat good, you don't even need to wear makeup. The better that I eat, the better that I understand my body and I'm allowing it to show up in my skin, in my face, in how much fat is on my face, and how chiseled my face is, and how dark my circles are under my eyes. The more I understand that about myself with food, the less that I would like to wear makeup because I'm starting to understand that I can use food instead of makeup. And also, I'm confident enough to know that if I do have any blemishes, that I can get rid of them with what I eat. For example, say I was to get, or I'll use a real life example. There was a couple weeks ago a huge, like cystic thing that formed in the middle of my forehead. I think it was because I had these pretzels that I loved and I ate almost a whole bag. I said, oh no, oh no. I could have put some makeup over it, but no. I did an olive oil shot with lemon juice, hot water, and turmeric, and maybe a little cayenne pepper. Overnight, it shrunk. It shrunk. I'm not afraid to show up as myself, as my natural self. I appreciate my natural beauty. And I feel like makeup can never allow you to fully appreciate your natural beauty if it is something that you put on every day. You might feel like, oh, I don't have to wear makeup. I don't even wear makeup like that, or however you might feel. But if you put on makeup most days out of the week in a 7 day period of time that you're doing your normal activities, if you're wearing makeup 4 or more of those days, you're covering your natural beauty. You are not okay with how you look naturally. And we have to start understanding that men don't wear makeup. They get to walk around and they have to accept their natural beauty. Women, we have the ability to put on makeup, to put on lashes, to do all these things that enhance our beauty. But what if we accepted our beauty for what it is and we realize actually, I am really beautiful already, and I know how to enhance that by what I eat. If you want to enhance your natural beauty with food, what you have to do is get in tune with your body, know how your body reacts to certain things. You might have allergies to specific foods that you absolutely love, and that causes a breakout, and that makes you want to put on makeup. You might not be in love with your eyebrows and you decide to fill them in. But when you accept yourself, when you know your palate, when you know your allergies, you're in tune with what goes into your body and the quantum effects of that, you start to accept every piece. When I was in high school, I used Proactive because I had a little bit of acne on my face and I wanted to use Proactive. My dad had Proactive. He told me to use it for my skin. And so I started using it. It completely wrecked my skin. I didn't have enough acne for Proactive. It totaled the integrity of my skin. It was just horrible. It ruined my skin barrier. It made me feel so insecure. I had dry skin and cystic acne all over my face, but especially at one point it was on my forehead. And I remember I would use this Maybelline powder on my forehead to cover up my skin. But when you have dry skin and you have cystic acne, it doesn't matter if you put makeup over it. That's just gonna make this skin tone one skin tone. It's not gonna actually, it's gonna make it look worse sometimes because now you can see the flaking of the skin and all the texture that's going on. And I remember I walked into the dining hall one day happy because, I forgot what was going on in my face. And one of my friends at the time, he looked at me and he looked at my forehead and he was like, "What is going on with your forehead? It looks like you have a disease." And I felt so ashamed in that moment. I felt so low. And I think many women who wear makeup use it as a way to boost their confidence, but it's actually not what's going to boost your confidence. What's going to boost your confidence is feeling beautiful in your skin and also feeling healthy and powerful. What you eat determines a lot about how you feel. It not only reflects on your skin, but it reflects in your mindset, it reflects in your power, it reflects in the way that you speak and your confidence to take care of yourself and your beauty routine. A practical way to understand how what you eat will affect you and your mindset is through the gut-brain axis. This is one well-known component of quantum nutrition. So, quantum nutrition is essentially the science, the theory of how what we eat, but not only what we eat, the sunlight, the moonlight, the starlight, the sounds of nature, nature itself, sounds of other people, how that actually nourishes our bodies. And it goes to a quantum level. So on a quantum level is basically those tiny particles that our eyes can't see anymore that are really hard to see, period. Even with machinery, it's hard to see. And so you could think about your protons, your new protons, neutrons, and electrons. Those are subatomic particles. Those are part of the quantum realm of our bodies. And so there's all these things that nourish us to that level of deepness within ourselves. And so the gut-brain axis shows how what we eat actually affects our brain and our mindset. So if you're eating things that are not good for your gut, then you're likely to have depression, anxiety, and stress. There's actually bacteria and actual depression. Like, say there was a bacteria called depression. People who have depression have that same bacteria living inside of them. So it's a living thing that affects your brain. And if you are not taking care of that, it can give you all these mental ailments. One example of this that I have noticed just in this last week, I mentioned in a previous video how I have been waking up earlier and I'm starting to see the sunrise. And to help me with this transition, I've been drinking coffee. I love to get me a little cold brew, nitro, whatever, and I'll drink it. And now I'm trying to wean off of that, but sometimes it's good and it gets me through the day. Okay. But I noticed that if I don't eat before or I wait too long to eat after I've had that coffee, I will start to feel anxiety in my stomach. And the anxiety in my stomach is a weird feeling. It's not in my brain. I'm not anxious about anything that's happening. It's just a buzzing feeling in my stomach that feels like I know what anxiety feels like. So I'm like, why is this anxiety in my stomach? And then A day or two later, I have anxiety in my mind. I'm overthinking the things that I said, the things that I wear. It's hard for me to do my hair. I feel like my hair takes me an hour to do because nothing's looking right. This bun will not be correct. And so I was like, wait, this anxiety in my stomach went to my head. And that's a quantum movement. That's a movement that you cannot see, but you can feel. And a lot of the quantum world is feeling because we can't see it, although it is actually happening. That reminds me of the Bible verse about faith and how faith is the substance. Let me pull it up real quick. I think it's faith is the substance of things hoped for. Faith is, yes, faith is the substance of things hoped for. Okay. The evidence of things not seen. Faith is a quantum substance. I was in Bible study and my pastor said that, and it really hit home. He said faith is an actual substance, like fire. It's a real substance. And it got me to think about the quantum field and how we can't see these things, but they're literally running the show. They are underneath the realm of our vision, but they are very much having visual effects that we can see. And that's how faith is. Faith is an actual substance. Just like anxiety and depression are actual substances, they can live in your gut and then they move to your brain. So those quantum movements, that quantum transference of anxiety, depression, and stress, it can start in your gut. Now, if I was a person who didn't know this about myself and I was feeling anxious, if I was a person who didn't know how to correct that, how to course correct that, how to say, all right, I'm feeling this anxiety. I need to flush it out in my system. I'm going to drink a lot of water. I'm going to eat a lot of antioxidant foods. I'm going to eat some things that can calm me or drink some herbal teas to get rid of the anxiety. If I didn't know how to use food for this and I was someone who still wore makeup and I had an event to go to, I would say, oh, I'm really anxious. I might be looking at myself in the mirror and saying, oh, I don't know, my hair is not working. Let me put some makeup on. That's going to make me feel better. At least if I'm not feeling good, I can, make myself look good. And that's okay. Nah, that's not me. And I don't think any woman should have to feel like that. A woman should know herself so well and know how what she puts into her body affects her to the point that she can understand this anxiety isn't real. I should have eaten before I had that coffee, or I should have eaten something with that coffee to lessen the effects of how it affects my stomach and my anxiety, because I know this about myself and I know that there's nothing wrong with my appearance and my brain is just trying to protect me and it's creating all these stories. I'm still going to show up confidently despite this feeling. I'm going to show up without makeup because this is who I am. God made you perfect. He made you perfectly. He made you in his image. Every blemish, every event that happened to you, I have a scar right here. That's not going anywhere. It faded a little bit, but it ain't going nowhere. This is a part of my face now. Anything that's a part of my face, God has molded me to be. When I put on makeup, it can make me feel like I'm trying to do better than God. How am I gonna do better than God? I can't. I can't do better than God. Like God made me beautiful. He made me beautiful. So it's very hard for someone like me to put on makeup. I'm not gonna say I don't. I'm not gonna say I haven't. There's days that I might have an event that I'm hosting and I want to put on a little mascara. I want to make my eyelashes a little bit longer. But that's not the norm. I think we need to switch this norm. I should be able to go outside and, we should see more women not wearing makeup and it not be like, oh, is she sick? Oh, it must be her day off. Oh, she's just chilling today. Why can't she be fully glamorous in her natural beauty? Why can't she be fully beautiful without makeup? I think that the way that society has made us feel like we need makeup is not okay. We don't need it. We don't need it for every day. And we have to admit that some of it is conditioning. Some of it is making us feel more feminine and more women-like, but you should be able to feel feminine and like a whole bunch of women without makeup. A lot of it is conditioning because if it was the opposite and men were the ones who had to wear makeup and women were the ones who did not really wear makeup like that, that's how it would be. Do you see how we've been conditioned? It just depends on what's pushed. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. Every part of you. You're beautiful without makeup. You can go anywhere you desire without makeup and feel and look and be gorgeous. You can go to the Met Gala without makeup and be the most confident woman there. I read a study a while ago about how makeup can help women feel more confident. And then that confidence actually makes them more sociable. And that sociability actually makes them more healthy. And so it's interesting how these things kind of have a slippery slope of how they affect our lives, right? So it's like you wear makeup and that can actually make you more healthy. And not wearing makeup can make you unhealthy because you might be afraid to go outside. You might be anxious about your natural skin, your natural face. If it's acne that you are desiring to get rid of and blemishes and things like that, you have to start with what you eat and your nourishment and fasting and healing yourself on an emotional level. If it's not acne, you're actually really, your skin is gorgeous, you have a pretty face. Why is it that you don't feel like I'm everything without makeup? That's my question. Do you feel like you're everything without makeup? Because I do. You can scroll through my videos. I don't even know if you'll find one with me wearing makeup. It's been so many years. And specifically foundation, things like that. That's, I think foundation is really a matter of your skin ain't where you want it to be. Because if your skin is clear, you're not going to need no foundation. There's people who add on their freckles and moles on top of foundation because they probably have some dark spots or whatever. Get the skin in order through nutrition. You can at least eliminate the foundation. And then I know it takes steps to get there to where you don't want to wear makeup. And some people are naturally blessed with thick eyebrows, thick, long, curly lashes. I get it. But you have to love whatever God has given you. That's the whole point. You are made perfectly. So I feel less inclined to wear makeup the more that I heal, the more that I nourish myself on a quantum level. Stay golden.